This is WVUA 23 News at 6.
We are glad you're with us tonight. I'm Chelsea Barton. Topping our news tonight, a new surge in COVID-19 hospitalizations in Alabama is rising at a drastic rate. Monday saw the highest number of COVID hospitalizations since March. WVUA 23's Jabari Pruitt has been following these numbers today. He joins us now live. Jabari, state health officials are concerned about these numbers, right?
That's right, Chelsea. Dr. Don Williamson, president of the Alabama Hospital Association, said people infected with the Delta variant has 1,000 times more the virus than people with the previous virus. Now, as of today, there are 646 COVID-positive inpatients in Alabama hospitals. 196 people are in the ICU and 77 people are on ventilators. None of them are vaccinated. Also, none of them are children. Now, Williamson said this new surge is not directly from the 4th of July, but he said it did contribute. UAB has determined that roughly 85% of the virus in Alabama is the Delta variant.
With the virus we were dealing with around Christmas, you probably needed about 15 minutes of exposure to get infected. With this new variant, we're talking about a minute to maybe 2 minutes in order to get infected. So things that were safe in May are not now safe.
Right now, only 35% of Alabamians are fully vaccinated. Dr. Williamson said if everyone gets vaccinated, the virus could die out within 2 months. Live tonight from the studio, Jabari Pruitt, WVUA 23 News.
Let's now check on the COVID-19 numbers for our state. According to the Alabama Department of Public Health, 1.5 million people have been fully vaccinated. However, you can see that vaccination rates are continuing to decrease. In total, ADPH is reporting 565,510 COVID cases statewide. 11,468 Alabamians have died due to the virus. Like Jabari reported, state hospitals are treating 646 COVID inpatients just today. Here's the department's updated risk map. As you can see, more counties have seen a spike in cases this week, with the most of the state now considered very high risk. 2 counties are labeled high risk and 1 is labeled moderate. 5 counties are considered low risk, including Pickens. Health officials say it's important for unvaccinated people to continue wearing a mask and social distancing. You can find a full by-county breakdown of the cases online at alabamapublichealth.gov. More than 91 million Americans live in a country considered to have a county had to have a high COVID-19 transmission. That's according to data published Tuesday by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That number is 18 million more than a day earlier. The health agency says a county has high transmission if it has 100 or more positive cases per 100,000 residents. The number of people living in a county with low community transmission has been cut in half since early June. About 15 million people live in those areas. Another symptom of the COVID-19 pandemic, a dramatic drop in life expectancy in the U.S. The new CDC report is highlighting the steepest decline since the Second World War, and the emerging data shows some major racial disparities. Mary Maloney takes a closer look.
Living shorter lives in America. A federal report finding overall life expectancy in the United States fell by a year and a half, with an even steeper drop for Hispanic and Black Americans.
The U.S. has had the steepest decline that has been documented since World War II. So this is serious.
The CDC report found the drop between 2019 and 2020 was mostly due to increases in deaths linked to COVID-19, but also diabetes, heart disease, and chronic liver disease, among other factors. Dr. Mary Bassett, professor of health and human rights at Harvard University, says the U.S. was already dealing with an alarming rise in mortality even before the pandemic.
The U.S. hasn't been doing that well in terms of life expectancy for decades. It fell out of the pack of other wealthy countries beginning in the 1980s. And in 2014, the U.S. began to chart small declines in life expectancy. So COVID really knocked us back.
For men, the CDC report found life expectancy dropped from 76.3 to 74.5 years. For women, life expectancy dropped from 81.4 to 80.2 years. The data also shows the historic drop disproportionately impacted Black and Hispanic Americans, with both groups experiencing a decline of about 3 years.
What it highlights are very long-standing and enduring disparities in access to the resources for health that exist.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
Live concerts at the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater are back. WVUA 23's Karis Harmon joins us now live. And Karis, this is some really exciting news.
Yes, Chelsea, it sure is. And a lot of people are looking forward to getting out in the community and enjoying some live music.
Oh gosh, live music, finally.
That's right. The Tuscaloosa Amphitheater is starting to have live music concerts again. The first concert will be on Friday, July 23rd, with Brad Paisley hitting the stage. Stacey Vaughn, Director of Public Services at the Amphitheater, says she expects a big crowd. And the restarting of live music at the Amphitheater has been a long time coming.
It's just been a long, hard process of trying to make sure that we've got everything in line. We've got a wonderful team to work with. So I think the biggest challenges right now are going to be the road construction and people understanding that they might want to leave a little bit earlier to get down here to get their parking. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. We haven't lost any parking at this point in time, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get here. So if they'll go online at TuscaloosaAmphitheater.com and look at the parking maps, I think that will help them get here in a more efficient manner.
The Tuscaloosa Amphitheater hasn't opened its doors for live concerts since 2019, but that's all changing on Friday, and they say they can't wait to see people fill up these seats and enjoy some live music. Vaughn says they have been encouraged to restart live concerts because they've been receiving endless support from the community.
I think people are thrilled. You know, we've obviously announced a lot of shows lately. We're going to see somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 plus shows this year, and our phones won't stop ringing. So we're really excited about that.
And COVID restrictions like social distancing will not be enforced, but Vaughn says she wants everyone to enjoy the atmosphere as comfortably as possible.
But if you feel more comfortable wearing a mask, feel free. We're more than welcome to while you're here. We'll have some enhanced cleaning protocols in place, but other than that, we expect everybody to have a very safe and wonderful evening.
The amphitheater does have a strict clear bag policy, so make sure anything bigger than a 4-by-6-inch clutch is carried into the theater in a clear bag. Reporting live, Karis Harmon, WVUA 23 News.
Thanks, Karis. With that concert tomorrow night and other weekend plans ahead, hopefully the weather will cooperate. Let's get a check now from Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. What's it looking like, Richard?
Hey, Chelsea, for the weekend, it's going to be hot and humid, a few scattered storms out there. We've got some big storms now across parts of West Alabama. In fact, here in the Tuscaloosa and Northport areas, it is pouring now. Could have some flooding issues out of this intense thunderstorm. It is drifting southeast. Right now on UA campus, we're currently dry at our TV station, but rain is quickly approaching over the south end of the county. Heavy rain just northeast of Moundville between Duncanville and Moundville. This activity also moving off towards the southeast direction and down towards Fonsdale. We got heavy rain approaching out of the Demopolis area. That cell moving southeast as well. We'll talk about temperatures and your weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Richard. The city of Tuscaloosa will celebrate the renaming of 28th Avenue with a parade that includes the University of Alabama $1 Million Band, Big Al, and Nick and Terry Sabin, of course. In April of 2020, the Tuscaloosa City Council officially renamed the street between Jack Warner Parkway and T.Y. Rogers Jr. Avenue to Nick's Kids Avenue. The street was renamed in anticipation of the construction of the Sabin Center and the current Tuscaloosa News Building. The parade will start at the intersection of Nick's Kids Avenue and 7th Street and end in the parking lot of the Tuscaloosa News Building. The free family-friendly event is scheduled for August 5th at 9 a.m. Today was the groundbreaking ceremony of the new Alberta Heights Chevron. The new Chevron is being constructed on University Boulevard East, right across the street from Alberta Baptist Church. It will be the largest gas station in West Alabama and will be fully equipped with a food court, including a yogurt mountain, a bakery, a barbecue pit, Chester's Chicken, and more. After the 2011 tornado devastated Alberta, District 5 Councilman Kip Tyner says he's excited for the project to be finished because it fills a void there in the community.
First of all, it will be the largest one in West Alabama, along with the largest market by 1,000 square feet. Right now, we've got Domino's, Churches, and Wright's Restaurant. So that fills a void that we don't have here.
They plan to be finished with the construction and open for business by September. A family favorite is closing its doors in Birmingham after nearly 50 years of operation. That's the first Chick-fil-A restaurant to open in Alabama. The location opened back in 1974, just 7 years after Truett Cathy launched the first Chick-fil-A in Atlanta. The owner of the restaurant at Brookwood Village Mall in Metro Birmingham announced the shutdown in a social media post. He says the once popular shopping venue is not bringing in enough customers. The issue of infrastructure is causing debate in the White House. Hear how political officials plan to handle the situation. And as COVID-19 cases are spiking again in the United States, so are unemployment claims. We have the latest from the Department of Labor right after the break.